What does the Second Amendment truly mean? In the Constitution, it says, the right to bear arms, a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The Second Amendment was originally written for the people due to the aggressive governments, also providing the government would allow guns just in case they needed any militia forces. This amendment was appropriately created for their time and their needs. The question is it still appropriate for our time and our needs? For the Democrats, their thought process on the Second Amendment is that there needs to be stricter laws on how an individual is able to get a gun. They want to focus on an effective enforcement of existing laws while also strengthening the background checking systems. For the Republicans, they feel that not everyone should have guns, but the inviolability of gun ownership should be left to the individual states to decide.
There are situations where the use of guns save lives, even the lives of our country's police officers. One night, a cop on duty pulled over on the side of the road where a car was flipped over in a car crash. The citizen who was in the car, Escobar, went ballistic and shot the cop once in the chest when he came over to ask him if he was okay. The man continued to harass the cop when another bystander, Yoxel, pulled over and yelled at the man to stop harassing him. The man refused, and Yoxel, using his good judgment and his quick instincts, pulled out his firearm, shot Escobar twice, killing him.
Yoxel says there was no choice or chance to think about it rationally, so he responded. Firing 2 shots, Yoxel killed the suspect. Despite his heroic actions, saving Trooper Anderson's life, Yoxel says he doesn't consider himself a hero at all. But Yoxel is still coping with the other side of his actions, taking another man's life. I did save somebody's life that morning, said Yoxel, but I had to take somebody else's life in the process, and that's difficult to reconcile. Yoxel says he feels God put him on that dark stretch of freeway for a purpose. Doing the right thing sometimes has prices, and that price is simple.
As you can see, not all killers are criminals, and without the Second Amendment, an innocent cop would be dead. The next clip is an interview of Michael Cisney, who is pro-gun. Why aren't background checks used more often when people are buying guns?
I think just because if you're buying a gun from another a person that owns it, just person to person, it's not required for a background check, so the person's not worried about that background check. If you go to a store and buy it, they're gonna a federal licensed dealer. You gotta have a background check. The law requires it, so you're gonna do it. People's only gonna do what the law requires.
What does assault weapon mean, and do you think it's necessary for anyone to own one?
Assault weapon means to me is, in my mind, it's like a machine gun. I mean, anything that you can unload rounds, more than 2 or 3 at a time. Do I think anybody should own one? I mean, for recreational, sure. I mean, I like to go out and shoot guns. I mean, I don't live in the jungle, but I got a machete. It just depends. It's not necessary to go out. It's not useful for anything as far as hunting or anything like that, but just recreation and just going blowing stuff up, sure.
This next clip is Emma Gonzalez, a victim from the recent Florida shootings, talking about gun control.
Didn't take them away from him when they knew that he expressed homicidal tendencies. And I am not talking about the FBI. I am talking about the people that he lived with. I'm talking about the neighbors who saw him outside holding guns. If the president wants to come up to me and tell me to my face that it was a terrible tragedy and how it should never have happened, and maintain telling us how nothing is going to be done about it, I'm going to happily ask him how much money he received from the National Rifle Association.
The next clip is an interview of Jada Aiden, who is anti-gun.
Why aren't background checks used more often when people are buying guns?
I think it comes down to anything they want to push it through and make money. People think that they don't like government, and that's going to be another layer. They think it takes away their rights, but it's the same thing with your car. You have to go through to get a license, a registration, and insurance.
assault weapon mean, and do you think it's necessary for anyone to own one?
No. I think people in the Army and, that are in the military and defending our country need to own that to defend it. But if you want to own that, I think you need to sign up and defend our country. You don't need that in your house.
In conclusion, we have the Florida senator talking about the heartbreak with the recent Florida shooting.
President, those were all our children. Those of us who are parents, you can imagine the parents of those children wondering what else can be done.
As the Florida senator said, these are all of our children. What will we do next to stop the violence?